Hello from Misawa, Japan. I am finally back on the bike after a year from enlisting in the Air Force. Tell you what, a year without being on the bike, thanks to COVID, really, it's a long time, and it definitely ruins you. My fitness is not there anymore. But thanks to the generosity of my senior master sergeant, Senior Master Sergeant Brown, guy's an absolute G. He hooked me up with a steel deal on a carbon race bike. Not a full aero, basically a crit crusher. Super solid bike though. He traded me a new Schwinn front fork suspension mountain bike. Trail bike, really. A trail bike more than anything. For a $2,000 beast. Way too generous. Can't thank him enough. The guy's an absolute unit when it comes to taking care of his flight. Great guy. But yeah, I'm up on Misawa Air Force Base here. I'm just cycling around near the flight line. But I'm actually about to pass where I work. You know, there's the gas station right behind the test cell there, and just taking advantage of this, what I thought would be less dodgy trail. It runs right next to the road that ties main base and north base. It's not horrible most of the time. It's mainly these little dips that go over the roads that go onto the flight line here, like coming up right here, and God damn, are they rough transitions. I'm having to bunny hop up them just to keep from getting a pinch flat, essentially. So, it's not the best, but with the headwinds that were going on today, yesterday, as of me doing this voiceover and getting this footage dealt with, those headwinds were awful. I mean, we're talking 35 to 45 kilometers per hour sustained, gusts up to 50, 60, properly miserable. And, I take it aside, I mean, you just saw that guy run by there. That's probably a JASDAF, Japanese Air Self-Defense, or what's it? So many of them run so weird, but they're always running, always working out, like always getting that cardio, which, good on them. Props, my guys, props. But boy, do they run weird. Like, I don't know if that's just like when they get tired, they just start running like that, but good gosh, by golly, it is something else. Right up here in the truck is actually a guy from the shop, absolute unit. He just waved me right on through. I gave him a little nod and a fucking hang loose and carried on my merry way. I definitely thanked him this morning for not making me stop by, you know, him going over the entire crossing section. But pretty soon here, these trees on my right are going to disappear, and I'm going to be right in the wind. It's basically at the end of the runway. At that point, right at the tree break here, I mean, a jet will be coming in overhead. I mean, they're only maybe 100, 120 feet above you. Speaking of, there goes one right now. You can hear it. You can't see it because I believe that they're taking off in a different direction, or he is landing or something. I don't know. But another group of 3 Japanese folks, very nice people. One of them notices me coming up behind him and tells his buddies, like, part the waters Moses style, and they let me on through. I, of course, thank them profusely right here and what have you, because it's much easier for them to run on the grass than for me to cycle on it, especially in that patch. Is quite pocked. But yeah, right here off to my right, that's the crash zone, and the wind is just ripping across it. Absolutely ripping and dipping into me. Right off about my 1:32 o'clock-ish at probably 45 kilometers, 50 kilometers an hour, and man, I am struggling. I mean, right here, I'm only doing probably 25 kilometers an hour, 30 clicks an hour. A little complicated over here in Japan because I'm trying to use both systems, kilometers and miles, and getting the two confused all the time. But if I say a number, assume I'm talking about kilometers per hour, even if I say miles per hour, because I'm wrong. Here comes an absolute machine here. He's getting a little tired, but I saw that guy running all afternoon, and he's been running for about an hour at that point. Roughly the same time I'd been on the bike here when I finally turned on the GoPro, because I had forgotten. Oh, hey, Sekfo. In their little bread van. I digress. This little hill, I mean, it's a steep sucker. I mean, we're talking like a 20-25% grade coming up that short little steep section. Real evil little spot, especially with that headwind. But man, this little downhill after it, a dream. I'm just ripping down here. See this guy coming my way, and I get off on the grass slightly. It got a little dicey there, and I think this corner, I overestimated my tires capabilities. I felt some wheel chatter in the back. Decided not to trust these tires. Yeah, no, hard no, bud. So I just cut through the grass. I decided, fuck it. I'm not gonna spill it on my first ride. I'm gonna just taper off, cut through, drag some brake, and then get back on with my life. Here, of course, I've got no choice but to go in the grass, but fortunately it's been beaten down by people's feet. It's pretty flat overall, except for that. That's a little bit of a bump, and there's a bunch of rocks ahead of me right where they got the grass joining up with the road on this little detour. You can hear the suffering. I'm just absolutely cycling my bollocks off here. The headwind is just murdering me. I live for that speed. It's why I cycle. It's what's the most fun about it is just that speed, baby. But I'm coming up on a respite here. I got a little bit of this trail left to go. I'm about 2 miles down it. Coming up on the beginning, there goes a Navy guy and another Japanese dude. This guy's got some pretty solid running for him, though, compared to his other Japanese friends. Right here, I'm definitely feeling it. Got a little exhaustion wobble there. Realize I need to get my head back in the game and stop focusing on how much life sucks at the moment. But that's training rides for you. You just cycle your fucking ass off. Here I'm checking over my shoulder. I'm just trying to time the gap correctly. Last thing I want to do is get creamed by someone whose duty day just ended and their only thought in the world is getting home and having a beer. Just hang off to the left a little bit. There's plenty of room, usually on the right. Going the direction I'm going, it's just packed with vehicles. Off on the oncoming lane on the right side of the road, a lot more sparse. So if someone's really booking it down the road, they can still get around me. It's my lucky day right here, because that's an SUV in front of me, and you can bet your ass I am taking advantage of that draft, because me tired. I'm getting in that lane, right in that little dead zone behind him, and I am hanging on. I'm catching my breath, letting some blood get back in my legs. Just getting a slight respite here. Boy, that shadow makes me look wonky. You can't see it through his rear window here, but man, that guy was mirror checking me hard. He was quite confused as to how some guy on a little pedal bike is keeping up with him. Because everyone on this base is used to the Jazdaff, the Japanese guys, and other people on these little pedal bikes doing maybe 5-10 kilometers an hour. Just putzing on the side of the road, just being an absolute obstruction. Then you get me up in here who's just ready to smash himself to keep up with traffic. Oh god, horrible track stand. I'm struggling there. Absolutely struggling. But I didn't fall. So a win in my book. Right about here, traffic's kind of doing a little stop and go, and up ahead I know that the light is probably green, so I'm coming over to the side. I'm giving her a check, giving her a look, and sure enough it's green and my right turn is coming up. I don't feel like having to stop at a red, so I'm lane splitting. Kind of weighing my options here, and I'm like full send, fuck it, I'm going for it. But I sent it too hard, and I threw my chain. Threw my chain right off. I'm not quite used to this new gear set that I've got going on. It's a SRAM Axis, I believe. It's very different from the Shimano group set that I had on my last race bike. Not used to it. And it also needs an adjustment. I managed to time it correctly, kept some momentum, and I was able to coast over to the corner of the BK over here and shout an obscenity at my chain and proceed to attempt to fix it. Yep. Straight down that stretch is actually the main gate, or at least an easy way to get to it, the Falcon Gate up on the northeast side-ish. Great spot for me to go to get off base to go cycle around the city of Misawa. It's quite ideal, nice straight stretch coming out of it, not a lot of traffic, it's a lesser used gate, less chance of me getting clobbered before I'm able to mesh and meld with traffic proper. Super dope van. I really wish I could have two vehicles because I would definitely bring one of those back and my Z car. But I can only have my Z car. So, a little failure on clipping in. We're on our way again though. Gonna do a little loop around some of the more quote unquote residential. A lot of dorms, a lot of on-base housing over here. Very well landscaped. Up ahead of me is a lot more of these cherry blossoms. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this time of year in Japan. It's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. A little chilly, really windy, but goddamn is it beautiful. Could do with less dead leaves on the ground, but hey, you know, I digress. Fall and winter are still a thing. You might notice that all these buildings, they've got these big numbers on them. And you'd think that it'd be sensical in how they number them on the base map. But no, building like 200, say, is next to building 1627 or whatever. So trying to find a building on a map when leadership tells you, hey, you gotta be at this building in this room at this time. It's a matter of, all right, well, where's fucking Waldo on this map? A little F4 Phantom there on display. So you play a little game of Where's Waldo and hope you're not late for the appointment getting lost while getting to that building. Right here, cutting over to the turn lane. Someone was nice enough to give me a gap. Guy that's going to probably pull up on my left here in a moment. And there's my go. Gonna tuck in behind this van, except they see me coming and mash the gas. They're gone. I'm not catching them because I'm back in the headwind. At this point, I'm just gonna tuck in. I'm gonna hold FTP, what little I have left after a year of not training from enlisting in the military and, you know, COVID and all the jacked upness that happened between basic limiting the amount of training we could do and tech school being, well, let's just say a nightmare with no freedom. I hate you, Shepard. I absolutely hate you. Please burn. Off to the left there, that's more base housing, and up on the right here is some of the more municipality buildings, you know, gyms, bowling alley, there's Mokoteki Cafe. Great goddamn calzones. Super nice calzones. I mean, for $6-8, you get a solid chunk of food. These calzones got a nice crust, proper amount of sauce, they're not soggy, and they'll put anything in there that you want for 50 cents a topping. Love those people, love what they make. Please keep making calzones Mokoteki. I will continue to buy them. I will seriously float your business single-handedly. And we're coming up towards the end of the ride here. We're getting back up to this main stretch that I just cycled up on behind that SUV from left to right there, and I'm about to basically do the loop again. Gonna just go ahead and kick her back off. Gonna cycle down, get back on the trail, do another hard effort down the trail, quick break, hard effort back up the trail to the start, and a nice little coast around sitting behind vehicles. Like this guy here who sees me and punches the gas, just absolutely flies away from me. Definitely broke the speed limit there, bud. You definitely broke the speed limit, because I was doing about 30 click. And so I tuck off to the left side of the road and carry on my merry fucking way. Start feeling a little dehydrated though, and I see the auto hobby up here, and figure I'll do a quick loop around the backside, take a stop, rehydrate, stretch my legs a little bit, and carry on with my training ride. Probably the best perk of joining the military. The benefits, health insurance and all that they're alright, but man, this place right here on my right with all these overhead doors, you pay $6 an hour, you get access to a vehicle lift, and you can bring your car in there and wrench on it to your little heart's content. Very helpful folks. They're full of knowledge. Most of them have their own project cars, trucks, you name it. There's my chain and running gear being a bastard again. That horrible grinding sound needs an adjustment badly. Not sure what's happened to it, but I need to deal with it. And yeah, here's where we'll stop it. Keep cycling, stay in the tuck, have a good one. Influencer! You know it. You know it. Look at those two back there.